The proposed initiative is an after-school and holiday club aimed at primary school children from low-income families. Biddle et al. 2012 write how economic status can be a barrier to sport participation due to the cost of coaching and equipment. It would initially be based at Merthyr Tydfil, but could expand depending on popularity and success. The census 2011 details that between Merthyr Tydfil and Cardiff North, there is a difference of £6,000 in annual salaries, despite there only being 20 miles between them, with Merthyr also being an area of deprivation. An after-school club would run twice a week, Monday and Friday, costing £3 a session. It appears that most schools do not run clubs on Mondays and Fridays, meaning that there would be no clashes with the schools. This has been thought through from Ysgol y Graig and Troy de Rw, who don't run clubs on Mondays and Fridays. Through working in partnerships with the school, it may be possible to use their facilities and equipment at a discounted rate. The holiday club will run Monday to Friday and will be split into two sections, 8:30 till 1 and 2 till 6, £3 per session or £5 for the day. These times provide an hour for the children to have lunch, and it is based around the adult working day lunch hour times. By running these clubs during the working day and keeping the cost of the sessions low, means that parents are able to continue working without having to pay the increasingly high rates of childcare, which is on average £115 per week. This is found out through the Family and Childcare Trust 2013. Further to this, 23% of Wales is classed as low income, the census 2011, meaning that there is an opportunity to broaden this initiative if successful. The initiative is non-profit, as the target is low-income families. Any money is ploughed back into paying for the coaches, facilities and equipment. The main aims can be seen on the screen, with the main one being to provide high-quality, low-cost physical activity sessions with the long-term objective of improving youth sport participation, which fall in line with Climbing Higher 2005's aims and objectives.
When looking at Climbing Higher 2005 policy document, WAG outlines two key aims regarding primary school children that they wish to achieve by 2020, which can be seen on screen. The proposed initiative will work towards these aims, as it will offer hours outside of the curriculum in which primary school-aged children can participate in sport and physical activity, combating the potential barriers of cost and time. Cookie et al. 2014. Furthermore, this initiative also fits in with the participation focus of WAG as outlined in Climbing Higher. The main emphasis of the initiative is participation, and for the participants to be able to sample a wide range of sports and physical activities in order to help establish a positive view towards sport and PA. However, there will be a small element of competition within the sessions. Pandal 2015 writes that this can be healthy for the engagement of children. This light competitive element will also assist in the progression from these sessions to those run by local clubs. WAG in Climbing Higher also detail their aim to achieve 80% of children to join a sports club. By building partnerships with local clubs and potentially using their facilities and coaches, there will be a natural progression from these sessions to those run by local clubs. This will also help to sustain long-term physical activity participation, as there are further opportunities outside of the sessions with clubs, environments and people that they're already comfortable with.
This initiative is targeting low-income families because many leading academics, including Cookie et al. 2014, suggest that economic factors are one of the biggest obstacles, as they often impact in a number of issues, such as lack of money for transport, equipment or specialised coaching. This is in agreement with Karma 2012, who highlights that low economic status is a serious barrier to participation. The census of 2011 shows that 23% of Wales is low income, and this statistic is backed up by the Welsh Assembly Government 2005, who argue that people in deprived communities aren't as likely to take part in recreational sport and physical activity. Moreover, Coulter 2004 states that pricing of sport is one of the main factors that people do not participate in sport, and Molina 2001 agrees and further implies that sporting habits need to be embedded in early primary school years so they're likely to be sustained throughout school and further on in life.
James, in 1999, emphasises the importance of knowing how to develop, manage and evaluate successful partnerships. One possible partner is Communities First. This is a Welsh Assembly Government initiative which looks to regenerate deprived communities through long-term funding, as well as increasing PA participation and improving standards. Communities First will give a grant of £1,500 to help start the initiative, to be used for facilities, equipment and session leaders, while partnerships with local clubs and schools are being established. This could also be linked to partners such as Change for Life, which would help this initiative broadcast on their website. Partnerships with Merthyr College and the University of South Wales could be used in order to supply lesson leaders and coaches to the initiative. This would aid those who are working towards coaching badges and volunteering modules. Where the volunteers are younger than the staff, the children can look to them as more of a friend figure rather than an authority figure. This may entice the more sedentary students to take part. This initiative could also work with UKCC courses being run in the area to provide practical coaching hours to those working towards qualifications. When looking to increase participation, the ideal partnerships would come from local sports teams. This is because they will already have qualified coaches and junior teams. For example, Merthyr RSC and Merthyr FC. The coaches from these teams can take sessions within the initiative as well as using their own facilities, which will help sustain youth participation rates as well as opportunities outside of the sessions.
To engage the young children and to get them to participate, Pandel 2015 states that a light competitive environment can promote social inclusion and is healthy for the engagement of children. The main thing to consider when promoting a competitive environment, however, is that it is done in a supportive environment and that losing isn't viewed as a negative concept. To attract children to the community-based programme, some kind of promotional system must be in place. According to Lubens and Morgan 2008, schools are integral for the promotion of physical activity amongst children and is critical when attempting to promote an active lifestyle amongst youth. Therefore, a marketing strategy will be in place around the schools, with brochures and posters being provided within the schools and further brochures for children to take home to their parents. According to Coulter and the Welsh Assembly Government 2005, in deprived areas such as Merthyr Tydfil, cost is one of the main barriers to participation. This, in combination with the high cost of childcare, will hopefully attract and engage participants as it provides a combination of physical activity and childcare for low cost. Houlihan and Green 2011 state that the quality of coaching is vital to sustain participation in physical activity. Choi, Cho and Kim 2005 highlight that some of the characteristics of a good quality coach is that they are highly qualified and have multiple traits such as good communication skills, enthusiasm and observational skills, to list a few. These types of coaches could be provided by organisations such as Sport Wales, who aim to provide community initiatives with highly trained volunteers to help run community programmes aimed at raising participation. According to Houlihan and Green 2011, it is important for new initiatives to focus on the quality of the concept rather than the quantity of participants. Therefore, we must ensure that the quality of the programme is high before being concerned about gaining mass quantity of participants. In order to ensure that every child has an opportunity to attend, multiple sessions will be held. AIM 2013 states that the lack of opportunity is a barrier in participation. Therefore, by giving children more than one opportunity to attend should counteract this issue. Feedback will be received from parents and participants in order to make sure that the session is appropriate to Merthyr Tydfil, as suggested by Hilton 2013.
On the screen now is a typical example of how a day may run.
A key challenge will be regulating and ensuring the quality of session leaders. As we will be using outside coaches and volunteers, it will be necessary to ensure that they have been DBS checked, as well as making sure that there are sufficient coaches in relation to the number of participants. Lyon and Cush in 2010 write that in order to deliver a high-quality sports session, the ratio of coaches to participants need to be considered, as this will ensure the safety of the session, as well as allowing coaches to deliver a personable session, thereby keeping participants engaged. This initiative will aim for a ratio of 1 coach for every 10 participants, as recommended by Sports Coach UK. In order to overcome this challenge, there can be a random observation of sessions, as well as allowing the participants to feedback. Further to this, it may be necessary for the volunteers and coaches to submit a coaching plan that needs to be approved in order to maintain the quality of the content of the session. One potential limitation of the initiative is its initial reliance on funding. Funding will be required to start the initiative, as income will only start coming in once the sessions start. The funding will initially be used for advertising, facility and equipment hire and session leaders. As the sessions become more established and partnerships developed, it is more likely that the cost will decrease and therefore the reliance on funding will also decrease. King 2009 writes that a reliance on funding is a limitation as it is often not consistent and reliable, meaning that it is not sustainable. In order to help overcome a potential over-reliance on funding, it is important that partnerships with local schools and clubs are established. The main reason for this is sustainability. For example, by working in partnership with local schools and clubs in the area, it may provide facilities, equipment and session leaders for discounted or even at no cost, thereby reducing the reliance on funding. Through these partnerships, not only the sustainability of the initiative is increased, but also the likelihood of the participants continuing sport and physical activity outside of the session and a school environment. Hilton writes that it is vital for sports initiatives to have factors whereby the success of the initiative can be measured, as this will not only ensure that the initiative is working and achieving its aims, but also will assist key stakeholders, partnership members and funding bodies to keep track of the progress and success of the initiative. Some ways the success of this initiative will be measured are on the screen.